Wow, that was some day of Test match cricket. India asking England to score 608, scoring that mountain of runs, taking those wickets at the end. But there's just a day left. The pitch is still very good. So much to talk about. And with Michael, we'll talk about all that on Cricbuzz Chatter, brought to you in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. That last hour. Have England conceded too much in that last hour?
Well, you could say the last 4 days. It's been a tough 4 days for England, barring a 4 hour period on day 3 where obviously the partnership of Harry Brook and Jamie Smith just played wonderfully well. But India have been exceptional this week. They've played a really disciplined game. They've been disciplined with the bat. They've been absolutely outstanding with the new ball. They really have made the ball talk. They've just bowled better than England have done with the new ball. They've managed to bowl some absolute jaffers. England have made a few mistakes, but I think it's been down to a lot of the quality from the likes of Akash and Mohammad Siraj.
I have a feeling tomorrow evening I'm going to talk to you about your two pet loves, the leave and the forward defense. But you talked about Akash Deep. I have some numbers for Akash Deep. When he bowls with the new ball, he's got 15 wickets at 14 with the new ball. The question is, how does he get wickets with the old ball? Because when it comes to the old ball, he's got 6 at 69. But that's for later. We'll talk about that when we're looking at fast forward. But once again, he's got 2 wickets today. Mohammad Siraj got 1. I thought the big one was Joe Root.
Yeah, that was a piece. Josh Tong bowled a beauty to get rid of KL a little early in the day. So that angle from wide of the crease as a right-hander, you think it's going to be coming down the leg side, so you look to play it on the onside. And right at the last minute, both those deliveries have just shaped away. And you felt that on this kind of wicket, and look, this pitch is still pure, still a good pitch, and someone can bat a long period of time on the last day. But for you just feel that Joe Root, that wicket has made a big sway to India winning this Test match.
It has indeed, and I mean, for a while we were wondering if they left it till too late.
Well, I tell you what, we'll talk. I'm sure Shubman Gill. I'm sure we'll talk Rishabh. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about Akash.
Yes, very ready.
And we'll talk about 1 or 2 of the England shots. But I know we're early in the show, Harsha, but I want to put you in the hot spot. Right, Harsha, you're in the hot spot, and I'm going to say to you, the declaration. Did India leave it too late, or did they get it absolutely spot on?
You're the Ashes winning captain.
I'm asking you from an Indian perspective, Harsha. I want to ask you, did Shubman Gill declare too late?
That's all we were talking about. My gut feel was 550. India got to 550 6 overs earlier. They got a lot of runs at the end, but they got to 550 6 overs earlier, which is when I thought they would declare. Get to 550. Who knows, in those 6 overs, England might have knocked off another 28, would have left 450 on the last day from 90 overs. If you can't defend 450 on the last day from 90 overs. My thought was the moment they went past 550, if you're worried, and if you concede those runs, you go into the opposition dressing room at the end of the day, shake hands and say the drinks are running. But that's what I thought at 550. The puzzling period for me was when Jadeja was batting. And then when Washington came out and all the others, they were still going for their shots, almost as if they wanted a few more runs. That's how it was, 161 there. I thought Rishabh's innings was fantastic. We'll talk a little bit more about Rishabh's innings. But yeah, to my mind, I thought 550. What did you think?
Well, the one thing, I mean, they've got so many runs in the bank that they can attack with catches all day. So that's given the Indian side, and tomorrow they'll be able to put all the catches around the bat. You know, what I don't want to see tomorrow is fielders on the boundary all the time and them spreading the field, because you get that amount of runs and England can't win the game. And interestingly for me, this is the first time really in the Bazball era that England have arrived on day 5 and they cannot win this game.
Yes.
It's impossible to think that they can win the game. Have they got the mindset? And they'll think it's boring because they don't like the word draw.
Yes.
But have they got the mindset and the discipline and the ticker and the determination to bat the whole day out and try and get a draw? If England get on their bus down to Lords, having drawn this Test match, it's robbery. Because of the way that India have played have been brilliant. But if England can scrap and fight for a draw tomorrow, in a funny kind of way, because the Bazballs are so naturally geared towards winning and attacking and chasing, well, it's not possible tomorrow. If they can get a draw tomorrow, I just wonder how that dressing would feel, because they've never done it before, because they've never been asked to.
In fact, my gut feel was that Gill and Gautam Gambhir left it till that late just to tell England, right, let's see your defensive game here. Do you possess a defensive game? Let's see how good at you are at it. And you see Crawley was driving. Duckett, he 25 and 15 balls. Root got a great ball, so that's where we are. But once again, the star of the day was Shubman Gill. Exactly like we talked yesterday. There's an inevitability about it. when you saw Joe Root in his prime, he's still in his prime, but when you saw him just go out there and get runs, when he went out to bat, you thought, he's going to score runs. I got that feeling with Shubman.
Yeah, I look at batters, and when they're playing really well, they just have a calmness, and they can just nullify the good balls. And when a bowler bowls a good ball, you've seen throughout the whole of this series that Shubman just goes with a forward defence, get past that. So then a bowler thinks, well, my best ball, he just plays with so much time and so much ease. I've got to try one or two things, and every try you try one or two things to Shubman, he's got the answer.
Yes.
He's got the answer on the back foot. He's got the answer through the offside. You go full and straight, which I guess is an area which teams have targeted in the past. And he's got the balance now to go, thank you very much. And he's got that determination. The determination of his defence allows him to attack. And that's why I'm intrigued by England tomorrow, because they need to take a leaf out of that book of Shubman Gill. The leaf of making sure that you nullify the best balls with defence. And England have got to try and... I've got to have a look at a DVD of Shubman and say, how the hell is he doing it so easily? Yeah. He's got a great head position, great mind, and he just looks like he's in a real good space in his mind with the way that he's batting and the way that he's controlled this test match.
What I like about him is once he's in, he's making it big. But 269 and 161, that's what, 430 runs in a test match. Some people like to do that across a whole series. So he's made 580 odd runs in a series. Just to put that in perspective, there were many great players in our game who didn't make 500 runs in a 5-test series across their careers. So, he's a winner, that Shubman Gill. And talking of winners, you too can win lakhs if you're playing on the Cricbuzz 11 app. All you need to do is download, register for ₹1, and keep playing. Who knows how far you can go. Maybe you can be the Shubman Gill of gaming. Just look at all that he did in that one innings today. I remember one of those. I remember seeing there's Graham Gooch, isn't there somewhere? There he is, Graham Gooch, 456. I saw every run of that 333 and 123, and his bat was about 4 feet wide. He had that big SS Jumbo, remember? Played a Stuart Surrey Jumbo. It was wide. 585 runs in a debut series as India's test captain. It's only 2, there's 3 to go still.
Well, come on, Harsha. I mean, of all those incredible stats and the records that he's breaking, which of those on the screen do you think is the best one?
It's got to be 430 and 585. But you know, the interesting one is that Hanif Mohammed's 354. He batted 16 hours, I think. They played 319 overs to save a game. Can you imagine batting 319 overs to save a game? And we're talking of batting 90 tomorrow to save a game. But yeah, that was fantastic. I actually thought he was helped in this innings, and you know better, by the way Rishabh Pant played.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Rishabh Pant at his box office. In the first innings, he surprised us all. He was really kind of defensive. Well, he came out from ball one. He danced down the first ball. He hit him on the pad. I went, the Rishabh's arrived that I like. And then Rishabh plays that kind of swivel, kind of rampy thing he plays. And he danced down and hit Josh Tongue over his head for 6. He dominated Shoaib Bashir. He threw his bat a couple of times, which went further than some of my 6s. He's the cricketer in this era that... And there's many, and I think we're very fortunate. I think Test cricket going forward is in such great hands with Shubman Gill, Harry Brook, Jamie Smith, Rishabh Pant, Yasir Jaiswal, and many more to mention. But there's something about Rishabh that every time he walks out, I'm like this. Yes. Because I've no idea really what's going to happen. But I know whatever happens, I'm going to be raw. Even his defensive shots entertain me. There's just something about that lovely smile and that joy and that energy that he brings to the game, which is so infectious.
I mean, I've seen a bat flying out of the hand once. This was twice. And we actually did a Hawkeye of where the bat goes after it leaves the hand. Which of those shots? I mean, did you like the charge down the wicket early on? Or my favorite, which was that little pickup that went?
The pickup for 6. I mean, I've seen it so many times, but he just sees the line so early. He's got an incredible eye.
Yes.
And then he just says, thank you very much. I'll just go with it with a bit of pace. He just kind of extends it, just kind of pops it underneath and it flies into the stand. And also there was a slot ball. We talk about the slot in T20 cricket. Tongue bowled him a slot ball. He went, smacked him straight over mid-wicket for 6. And, you know, when you're setting out to obviously declaring a test match, you need those styles of players that can really, you know, give you that chance of declaring a little bit sooner. And whether that happened or not, only Shubman will know. But you need those players that can really get on the front foot, and that's exactly what Rishabh did.
I mean, I thought India would target to get, if India got 210 by T, I thought that would have been good. As it turned out, they got much more than that because they got 240 by T. That second session of 127. And part of the first session was largely because of Rishabh Pant, and he just made it much easier thereafter. He made it easier for Jadeja, who was batting in the early part, had flummoxed me a little bit, but when he was batting, Michael's just right. You were just watching the how's he taking on Shoaib Bashir. He's exciting. There's always an air of excitement around the game when Rishabh Pant comes into bat. It's much like all the games that you have on the Cricbuzz 11 app. Let's see if you can find those exciting too. All you need to do is go there, download it, just cost a rupee, download, register, and enjoy yourself over there too. I was a little flummoxed by what followed, where Ravindra Jadeja came in. I thought it was really set up to give India more overs to bowl at. Would you have sent messages out saying, Jadu, what are you doing?
Well, they didn't need messages out there because the captain was with him.
There you go, of course.
So they just need to chat. It was clear for me from the way that Jadeja came out and played it. It was like, right, okay, we're just going to make sure that England don't have a chance in this test match. Mm. I think what they wanted to do is to say to England, by the way, you keep saying that you want to go for the victories. Harry Brook last night in an interview said, whatever they set, we'll chase. Well, I think Gautam Gambhir and Shubman Gill probably thought, you know what we'll do to England is put them in a really uncomfortable position, a position that they've not been in before, where day 5, you can't win. What have you got? You know, with the way that England play, they're naturally, you saw Ollie Pope back tonight. It was like the old Ollie Pope of about a year ago, where he was a little bit all over the place. He was a little bit frantic. That calmness wasn't there that we saw at Headingley. And that's what happens with some of these England players, that when they're under a bit of pressure and it's a bit against their natural way of playing, they make mistakes. Zach Crawley made a mistake. Joe Root gets a Jaffa. I thought the ball to Ben Duckett was a good delivery. But I think India, what they've said to England is, by the way, you can't win this game. Yes. Have you got the defence to be able to cope with 90 overs and a bit more on day 4, which we've just had? We've knocked 3 over. They've got to get 7 wickets tomorrow. If they get 7 wickets tomorrow, which, they're favourites to do so, there'll be a bit of cloud around. They've got a second new ball later in the day, and they win this test match. It's a remarkable turnaround. Yes, from what was Headingley to arriving here, no Jasprit Bumrah. I don't think many gave India a chance. They have dominated this test match. They have played as good a game of cricket that I've seen from a touring team for a long period of time. Huge score, bowled nicely, had a period where it went against them, then got the second new ball yesterday, dominated, batted brilliantly today, and they've just given an exhibition of how to bowl with the new ball once again. It's been a tremendous performance. They have to win here. If they don't win here and they allow England to get through and get the draw, which will take a huge amount of skill from England, it's going to be a remarkable turnaround in the test match. India deserve to win this game.
It's a little bit left then on Cricbuzz Chatter. Let's go fast forward. There's no point asking you what you would have done if you were captain of England, because you played your cricket so differently. But my view on that, I don't know if you agree, is don't think batting looks that difficult. But because England don't fancy defense, because they'll keep playing their shots, in playing those shots will end up giving India an opportunity to take wickets.
Yeah, and the one thing that we have to mention about India so far this week, they've caught.
Yes,
they've caught nicely, and with the way that England play, that they're going to play the shots, and that they potentially will create 1 or 2 chances. You've just got to be good enough to take them. I think we're in for an intriguing last day because of that. Harry Brook, Ollie Pope. They're particularly
Stokes Smith.
Yeah, but particularly Ollie Pope was a nervy starter. He was nervous tonight. He was all over the place, and he managed to survive. What's he going to be like on day 5? And as we saw on day 4 at the start of the day, when the clouds were around, Carson Woakes got the ball just nibbling around a bit. So it's not going to be easy for England for the first hour. If they can overcome that, and then they can start to play with a real mindset, they can easily bat that day out, because this is still a good pitch. There's not a huge amount of spin. The odd ball seams, and that's pretty much it.
The one thing in England's favour is there's just the odd ball turning, and everyone's waiting to see, is there anything for the spinner? I know both Michael and me agree that a good test match pitch should offer the spinners a little bit more, but there's absolutely nothing there. I think Jadeja turned one. There was a couple that Shoaib Bashir turned, especially when he was bowling slower, but no alarms on that front. And was the Met Office saying tomorrow? It's saying a little bit of rain later in the evening, a little bit of rain around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Look at it now.
Yeah, the forecast is clouds. I mean, there's going to be a bit of rain at the start of the day and potentially later on in the day, but that should come after the game is finished. It's going to be an intriguing day, because I'm excited, because it's something that I've been saying about this team for a while, and in particular the England side, is they're a brilliant team. They play a brand of cricket that I've enjoyed watching more than any other team. But to win big series and 5-match series, you can't just play one way. And tomorrow England have got to play a way that's completely against their natural traits. That's what I call mental toughness. When you have to do something that you naturally don't want to do, that's really testing the mind. And England are going to have to do that if they want to win in Australia in a few months' time. You grab a draw when you can't win. And England have got to try and grab the draw tomorrow when they can't win. I'm intrigued to see how they play.
It's one of the great things about Test match cricket. I may not be in a position to win this, but there is glory in not letting you win it. And I'd like to see England do that. I think Harry Brooks got the game to do that. Ben Stokes has definitely got the game to do that. Not as certain of Ollie Pope, though when he gets in, he does get the big ones. But I'll be looking to see if Jamie Smith has got that game. For England, don't lose a wicket in the first session. For India, if you get two, maybe three in the first, then that's an early wrap. 536 in 90 overs. That's not happening. But can India get 7 wickets? There's so much to talk to you about. Let's see if tomorrow's a batting day or a bowling day. Michael and me will be back with you on Cricbuzz Chatter, brought to you in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. Cheers.